Polar Homestead. We learn finance, permaculture and prepping. A modern view of the world. Don't forget, freedom is in your hands. Stay safe and vigilant, friends. And now your host, Ralph KK. Launch in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
It's me, your host Ralph KK, from the North Pole in the summer. Today we have a special guest, Christine from Norway. How are you, Christine, today?
I'm fine. I'm enjoying these last days of summer.
Tell us about your summer. What do you do during the summer?
I don't know, for me this summer was pretty boring. Like I didn't travel anywhere, so I just stayed home. At least I have my own garden just to enjoy these last sunny days. So I was just painting, doing some work in the garden. So it was acceptable, I guess, acceptable.
Why you didn't travel anywhere? What was stopping you from traveling?
I could say there are different reasons. First, like because of the situation in general, I don't think that maybe it is not completely safe right now, and also like the mood of the people with all of this situation, like their mind, like I don't know, it's just polluted, and everybody's kind of angry, kind of sad. So like it's just not that much fun to travel right now.
Yeah, in general, if you are like in Europe, it is not safe to travel. And a lot of people, they don't understand how delicate the situation is. That everything is so tense between the three biggest world powers. Everything is so tense that any minute, like a big conflict could just break out. And you are like on the beach somewhere, like Spain, Greece, and whatever, and then you see in the distance like mushroom clouds going on everywhere. Then what are you gonna do? And a lot of people they just don't think about it. They just think about the now, the moment, just to kind of enjoy themselves, go to the beach to eat fish, to sunbathe, whatever. But they don't understand how complicated the situation is right now.
You can think of this situation, I suppose, from two point of view, from two sides. Like first, like of course, like it is not safe, and in the long term, it is better to stay home and think about your own security. But from other side, we don't know what just the next day will bring to us. So maybe this is our last day. So like it is, I suppose we cannot say for people in general. It is the choice of every single person. Depends what your life is for you, like whether you live just one day and enjoy it, and tomorrow you just accept what is coming, or stay secure. But maybe like we are not able to travel safely, not this year, not next year. So like you cannot say that this is completely right or wrong. So like
this could be the last summer of civilization before the apocalypse.
Exactly.
What is your favorite post-apocalyptic film that you've watched?
I need to think about it. I can answer this question maybe later, in the end of this podcast.
You have never watched this film called The Road? With this guy from Lord of the Rings, Virgo something. He was the king. Do you know this guy? From Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is one film called The Road with this guy as the main character, yeah? So the film is about, the Earth, there was like solar flares, and the solar flares, they destroyed all the electronics on Earth. And there was like fires and stuff, so complete collapse of civilization. And there was like some people who was left alive, and they're like struggling and trying to survive on Earth after civilization. And life, it is like very tough. There is nothing left of civilization, so like everybody just like roaming around, and there is no food. And you know what happened? They became cannibals. They are eating each other.
You are talking about films, and I just remember this new game about the cats. Like when just people, they were just gone from the earth already, and there were only robots and these cats on the surface. So it's also like interesting that our knowledge, our culture was almost completely lost after some kind of apocalyptic event.
So like the idea of apocalypses is like present in our mind constantly, as if we are afraid of it, or as if we are conscious that it is coming for us.
Yeah. And just recently we replayed also this game, the Death Strandings, and at the end it was that extinction. It is opportunity for humanity to find like some inner resources and rebuild our lifestyle. So maybe we have in some kind of scenario the same. So like we should see it an opportunity to improve us as humans and be more kind to earth and to each other.
And did you follow my advice? Did you start growing your potatoes?
I gave this to experts in our family who can do it better than me.
Today it is August 17th of the year 2022. While civilization still exists, and I have my crop of potatoes ready. I grow my potatoes in containers, so each container is like 50 liters of dirt, and I have something like 7 to 10, let's say 10 containers of potatoes, and my crop, it is ready. And do you know when potatoes are ready to be harvested? I mean, the plant of potatoes, when is it ready to be harvested, do you know?
Around the beginning of September, no? The last days of August, beginning of September.
You can literally plant potatoes the whole year. So, and the growing period is something like 3 to 4 months. And the time when the potatoes are ready to harvest, it is usually when the plant becomes yellow. When you see your potato plant turn yellow, it is the time. So the potato plant, it is green. So when it turns yellow, it is wilting. So when the potato plant turns yellow, you just cut it. Then you wait something like 5 to 10 days, and you go take out your potatoes and you get your crop. And I was checking my crop, and I have like huge, big, tasty potatoes to be ready to be harvested.
But if I'm not mistaken, with this method, when you put it in some kind of containers, you put dirt on top each time when the green plant come out, no?
Yeah, but the potato plant itself, it has like a life cycle, so it cannot grow more than 4 months. Because then it wilts, regardless of if it is hot or cold or wet, whatever. The potato plant will just wilt because it reached the maximum possibilities in this year's cycle. So it becomes yellow, it wilts, and then the potatoes, they will go into dormancy, or you can harvest them.
So you were just talking that the plant itself becomes yellow. So how can you understand if it's ready or not? Just count in time?
No, the plant becomes yellow and it just dies. There is no more plant. There is only the tubers in the dirt.
Yeah, but you put dirt each time on top, so you don't see the.
This is during the growing period. So you put your potatoes in the dirt. Then like 1 week, 2 weeks later, the green plant starts to come out. Yeah. So as it is growing up, you just drop dirt on top, and on top of it dirt, and like this you do it for 3-4 months. And then you just grab your potatoes and eat your potatoes.
Okay, and which kind of potatoes do you grow? Sweet potatoes or usual potatoes?
Sweet potatoes, this is a whole nother story. It's a whole other plant. For example, the usual potato, the plant itself, it is poisonous. So if you touch the potato plant, you can get like a rash on your skin, or depending how much you touch it, the liquid inside the plant, this can be like harmful to you. Like the potato plant itself is very poisonous, and the tubers, if the tubers they're green, they're also very poisonous. Like there have been like many cases where people store potatoes in the basement, and during winter, and sometimes people die because they go down to the basement to see the potatoes. They inhale the gases, the gas from the potatoes, and they just die.
Really, I have never thought about it. I know only about eating green potatoes.
So if you eat the green potato, you will get poisoned. And if you store like a big amount of potatoes in the basement and they became green, they will produce a gas, and this gas will kill you. There has been like many cases about this.
Oh my goodness, you're just crazy about the possibility of dying. Like, I think that to die, like, the percentage, like, the possibility to die from the gas of potato, it's 0.000 something, you know?
It is actually very common. It's like a very common thing to have a potato poisoning. It's very common. So usually especially in children, because their weight is not so much, so children are more likely to get poisoned by potatoes.
Okay, I will not check it. Like, I just believe you about this. So what about your potatoes? You grow both and sweet potato? What's the name of this scientific name?
But the sweet potatoes, the sweet potatoes, they are a different plant. They are called sweet potatoes, but they are not potatoes themselves. They use a tuber called sweet potatoes. So the plant of the sweet potato, this is not poisonous. You can eat it. Even you can eat the young green growth, the young leaves of the sweet potato. You can eat it. You can cook it. It tastes something like spinach. Did you know this?
I just don't like sweet potatoes in general. This is some kind of strange half fruit, half vegetable for me. So I just this flavor is not for me, not my favorite. So.
But the sweet potatoes, they are, I would say, like very user-friendly in case of in a survival situation, because as they are not poisonous, you can grow it inside your home or in your balcony, and because it is not poisonous, you can just have this sweet potato plant there just growing, and it will give you tubers, and you can live from these tubers, and they are usually very, very productive. They can eat or use like a lot of fertilizer. So you put your tubers, you just drop dirt on it, and you keep feeding it like every 2 weeks. Give like a bunch of fertilizer, and in 3 months you're gonna have huge sweet potatoes that you can eat.
Okay, in case I will be starving during apocalypse, I will come for you for your sweet potatoes.
In the upcoming apocalypse, which might be coming pretty soon.
I hope not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
So, a little bird told me that you are now also a podcaster. Is this true? Did you become a podcaster?
And it's such a serious word. Yeah, like I have my podcast. Maybe this is not the first job I'm doing, but when I have free time, I decided to share with people some of my tricks, techniques, and in general talk about artists' lifestyle. So like I decided that maybe it would be interesting for some people.
Actually, I've heard your podcast, and this is more about psychology than anything else.
But like you just have to understand like that the artist's mind, it is not a common thing, yeah, and also to stay in some kind of this like artistic to keep this artistic thinking, to be able to create something new, you have to use different psychological tricks to be productive. So like because of this, some parts of this podcast, like it's really about psychology, which helps me to keep myself fit, like about to not to get too much depressed or.
So you mean that people who are preparing for the apocalypse, they should listen to your podcast, because this is about self-improvement and self-relaxation.
Yeah, I'm not pretending to be some kind of a famous psychologist or like expert about psychological things. Yeah, I'm just like busy with this, and I know which kind of stuff, which kind of techniques they work for me. And yeah, like for me, first of all, I'm using it in my creative life. Yeah, when I'm painting, but also you can use it in your everyday life just to improve yourself and to make your day more productive in any kind of activity you are busy with.
I've also heard that you even have a blog. Oh my goodness, you're writing a blog.
It's kind of the same as my podcast. Just I know some people they prefer to read and some people they prefer to listen. Because like in blog there is also some kind of function button that you can listen to what you write, yeah, on the page. But this is some kind of robotic voice, and you listen to this and you don't feel the same way in case you would be listening to a real person. So I just decided that it might be more interesting to listen in case I would tell people myself, not just read in the blog or listen in the robotic voice in this blog, like written blog. So I have my blog in Medium and blogger.com.
Okay, what is your username? Let's promote you. What is your username?
The Northern Muse.
Okay, you also have, what do you have? You have Instagram, you have YouTube, what else? You have a blogger, yeah?
Yeah, like in YouTube, I'm the Northern Muse, and my blog it is the Northern Muse Art Cafe.
Okay, so people should search for you as the Northern Muse all around Instagram, YouTube, and blogger if they want to learn about psychology, self-improvement from a feminine perspective, yeah?
Like I said, this is not like mostly like I'm also talking about art there. Like each episode we are talking about different art pieces. So like it is not completely about psychology. So like.
In my own opinion, what I've heard, everything is about psychology and self-improvement. Maybe I was not paying attention to the art part.
The art part, this is the second part. Like you have to listen till the end to get it.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so tell me, have you made preparations for the upcoming winter? Because it's going to be a very tough winter, very, very tough. Only the strong will survive in the upcoming winter.
I did it as much as I could in like reasonable volume. I would say like not crazy, not like storing like a lot, but some preparations, yeah, for sure.
Like what? Do you buy pasta?
About pasta, about rice, I bought beans. Also like some extra bags of sugar. I'm not really eating sugar, but for cooking, like maybe. Also like right now we have berry season. I hope that I will make some jam maybe. So also for like autumn.
I already collected my berries. I got like 10 kilograms of black currant, and then I turn it into jam, and I have like another 20 kilograms of jam of blackcurrant, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with all of this. When am I going to eat it? I don't know. I have no idea. It's just like too much jam, too much berries.
You could also like close it like to make the jars clean, and there are a lot of videos on YouTube about how to make your jam in the jars and store it like for 1 year. So.
You can also freeze it. Did you know this? You can freeze your jam, and it's used as fresh.
It's not like really. I don't like frozen berries. When you
No. You grab the berries, you make it into jam, and then you freeze the jam already prepared. And supposedly there is no difference after you unfreeze it. There is no difference, according to what people say. Haven't tried this.
But for this, like you have to consider that like a lot of empty space in your fridge. Like you need a lot of empty space for this to store it. So. I suppose it's more convenient to keep it in the jar somewhere in a cold place in your house, on the ground.
It depends how much work do you want to do, how much free time to do this you have, because it does take like some effort to can your jam.
Also, like if you like freeze it, like you freeze like a big portion, you have to consider that you have to take out small portions to not to take out the whole thing, because how can you're gonna eat the whole bag of.
No, this is why you have like small glass containers, and you put your jam in small glass containers, and then you just put the containers in the freezer.
Can you imagine how much space does it take in your freezer to have such a like huge space there? I don't. I have like usual fridge.
You could make like a you could grab like one big compartment and then put in there like 2 levels of your jams.
And the rest like for your everyday life, like chicken and stuff, we're gonna put it.
So you take one jar as you are using it every day.
I suppose you just don't know what you're talking about. You're delusional.
I know what I'm talking about for sure.
I don't want to argue with you about this, but the space.
It is just the point of view of the masculine mind versus the female mind. In the masculine mind, everything it is possible like this. The female mind, they cannot conceive such a construction inside the fridge.
So very soon you have to face the reality, your human mind. Very, very soon.
Okay, we'll see about that. So, do you remember which film is your favorite post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it is the Blade Runner. It is not completely like you said, but it was also like after some cataclysm, not even cataclysm, like ecological crisis, how you call it.
So in Blade Runner, so it's into the future, something like like right now, like the year 2022 or maybe 50 more years. So the Earth, there was ecological collapse all around, super ecological collapse, and the Third World War, it happened. So there was like nuclear weapons exploding all around in different places. So there was like a winner and a loser, and plus the ecological collapse. And then so humans, the people that survived, they concentrated in big cities like megapolises. And so with the remaining technology, they kept building what was left, and so there is like some kind of post-apocalyptic civilization that kept some technology, and they live in big cities and only these small cities because everything outside is just destroyed. So do you think this is like an option for us?
It's quite possible. Maybe it's quite possible. Maybe not the same scenario, but yeah, like this sounds reasonable. Yeah, that after some kind of apocalyptic event, people they have to concentrate and just to survive together. And also, this film is not only about humans. This is about some kind of cyborgs. Yeah. So like this, what is the modern technologies they're moving towards to. So like this is kind of reasonable.
I suppose today or yesterday there was in the news like a report by some organization. So they calculated that if there was like a Third World War, they calculated how much people would possibly die. So they came to the number of 5 billion people would die in this war. We are like 7 billion people, from 7 to 8 billion people. So according to this, something like 70% of people would die, 5 billion people. And then the rest would be left to struggle in something like Blade Runner, yeah?
For this, like this is obvious, that some kind of event like this, maybe not that much strong, it's supposed to happen just reasonably because the Earth is not able to take that amount of population right now living on the Earth. Yeah, so like maybe not 5-7 billion will be just extincted. I call it just disappearing.
But here it is like the like kind of interesting facts and idea that as humans, there is more population, they become bigger, yeah? So the Earth cannot sustain this. So there is much less resources for everybody. Much less resources. So because of this, so people start fighting because there are not enough resources. So countries, they start fighting, they create wars, and this is what could create like a world war, which would lead to a massive death of people. And all of this because there are no resources. So countries, they are fighting over resources like food, water, nature, trees, all of this stuff, energy. So countries are fighting over resources right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like right now, like they just trying to pictures like the governments of the different countries. They try to picture all this war like some kind of protecting like personal views of people. Yeah, their like attitude there. They're like depends to which country, to which nation they just they think they are. Yeah. But in general, behind the scene, what is happening behind the scenes, this is, yeah, like you said, this is just the war for the resources. Because we are just not told how bad the situation is. Like, I don't think that each one of us, we are just checking at least once a year how much resources left for us, yeah, to live. So, like, but if you check the report, this is like, what we were saying, 30 years, like, okay, and then 50 years.
According to scientists, there will be like massive ecological collapse by the year 2032. So something like 10 years, massive ecological collapse. So in 10 years, the Earth will not be able to sustain everybody that is here today.
But what is funny, if you're just looking right now on the map, yeah, for the countries who is fighting, and this is like two kind of wars, yeah, worlds, like Russia, China, Iran, yeah, like India partially, they're like neutral, but like still, yeah, they're like maybe not that much developed countries, but with the great amount of the resources.
Yeah, this is funny. They're very rich in resources.
But the other part, it's like Europe, let's say.
So these are like post-industrialized nations which already used all their resources.
Yeah, like these are countries with the great, they're like very developed.
So post-industrialization.
Technologically developed, but with the resources they're like very poor, and also people they already like forgot, they're not used to like really hard lifestyle. So like
like the Canadian premier, he always talks about this, that people have become too soft in the West, that they are not used to struggling, and they became too soft, and now they are just too soft to survive, like in real life or in nature.
Oh, so like we have like two kind of fronts which are fighting, and these two fronts, they just don't want to fight on their own territory, and they found just the piece of land which be suitable for them, just have their business and then decide all the problems, issues, and then just like go their own ways. Yeah. So like, but to us, it was just told to think like some kind of way just to grow hate to each other. But I think that for real, this like really, like you said, that this is just war for the resources, because just like you can be very developed, like to have all these super machines, like devices, but without resources, just basically without food, with all this technology, you will not survive. This technology would not feed you. Sorry, like 3D printer cannot make you eatable hamburger yet.
But there is bugs, and there is box powder to make hamburgers.
Yes, like sorry, like some, let's say German or Swedish guy, he's sitting eating in front of the TV like pieces of cockroaches, and some guy in Iran, he's sitting there and eating piece of some tasty stuff.
Yeah, but like some piece of meat, yeah.
Yeah, and laughing on the TV, like no, this is pathetic, right? So like, of course you can survive, but we are talking about like acceptable living. Like I don't think that anybody want to live the same lifestyle like people in Africa. Like for breakfast I have 2 cockroaches. For dinner I'm gonna have like another bug. Like
actually some cultures in the past they already ate bugs for survival purposes. Usually like in the jungle, like East Asia, Africa, South America, like a lot of tribes they already ate bugs to supplement their diet. Because usually in wilder conditions it's difficult to get meat, to get protein.
But we are talking about civilization, how it is right now. Like, yeah, like it used to be Germans, it used to be France, which like they used to live in hard condition. There were a bunch of diseases, like for example, before which couldn't be treated. Yeah, a lot of people they were dying. Also, like all the countries in some specific period of their history, they used to have like parts when they were struggling. But the point is that it was very long period of peace, and also they had opportunity to grow their economy and improve their lifestyles. And right now it's very difficult to come back to something what make them uncomfortable. Like for example, if you're sleeping on orthopedic bed for 10 years, would it be easier for you to go sleep like I don't know on some kind of bed in prison, for example? Like
yeah, no way. I don't go anywhere without my orthopedic bed and my orthopedic pillow.
So, and you're talking about the guy who was like eating in the restaurant some kind of delicious piece of salmon, or like so juicy and an amazing piece of Argentinian steak, for example. And
but come on, with all the science, all the technology, they can create a fake meat grown in the laboratory. So you can go eat your steak with a fake meat. It's like 3D printed with molecules, particles, cells grown in the laboratory, 3D printed, and you will eat it, and maybe you will not know the difference between something 3D printed or if it is natural or not. You will not know it.
Okay, like to answer to this question, like also like two kind of answers. Yeah. So like first, about the amount of population which we have right now in Europe and USA, yeah, like not let's say developed countries. Like, will you be able to print these steaks for all this amount of people, like with acceptable price? No, that's not so cheap, but acceptable price? I don't think so.
Yes, it's very cheap to 3D print it actually. And also the population in Europe and the USA, it is declining. It is not growing. So this is the question: why is the governments and the mainstream media in the West trying to promote this? Because the population is declining and it is very cheap to 3D print the meat or to feed them bugs also. So like, what is happening?
So I was saying that this is two points, yeah. So like, the second point that I think that only like it will be very specific people who will be able to get it. Like I don't think.
What do you mean? The 3D printed meat?
Yeah.
There is in the USA they call it. I don't remember the name of this, but they already sell hamburgers of this of fake meat grown in the laboratory. They are already mass producing it, and it is beginning. Maybe it is not so advanced in the taste, in the flavor, but just give it like 5 years, they will be able to give you a steak which tastes the same as the steak from a real cow. You will not notice the difference. In just 3-5 years, you will not notice the difference.
I don't know, like maybe I'm just old-fashioned thinking, like, but would you eat like this plastic food, like not like food which is not alive?
But like I'm telling you, you will not notice the difference. It will taste exactly the same. You will not know if it is real or not. You will not know it.
But the point is that this is good for your body or not. Like it will probably just make your life very shortly. You think that I know that Earth is just like a living organism, you know? Like everything is connected. You cannot just cheat the system. I just don't think so.
Usually at the beginning when you create new technologies, usually there is something bad about it. So we don't know if this meat grown in the laboratory, it is okay at the beginning. We don't know. Probably not, but we don't know. Usually something new, usually at the beginning is not so good or so healthy.
Okay, what I say that, okay, we will leave Americans to taste this and then tell us. I'm not gonna try it myself.
Yeah, we will just go to live there in Iran, in the mountains there, have our goats. We will eat our goat's milk, our goat cheese. We will also grow our crop of wheat. We'll make our own bread. And then also like the native people, once a year, we slaughter like a goat and have some meat.
I don't know, not Iran. Like the language there is too crazy. I've tried to learn it and nope.
What do you mean? This is the Persian culture. This is previous Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about only about the language. This is great concept.
This is why the cradle of civilization. This is why complex language, complex cultures, complex civilization.
Yeah, they're great. Like the history, like very interesting. I don't have anything to say against this.
Okay, so we're running out of time. Do you have any final thoughts or comments for the audience?
So like we were talking about my psychological like podcast. So like maybe I would give you some tips in this podcast also for your
tips.
For your well-being during these very difficult times. Like first, I think like you know that technically we can keep only one thought like in our mind per time. Yeah, we cannot think about like single about multiple stuff at the same time. So like this takes us to the point that you have to be concentrated on something positive when you're like really struggling. Just try to replace bad thoughts with some kind of positive thoughts, like some kind of productive stuff which help you to go through a difficult period in your life. Like if you are struggling of hunger, try to concentrate on something else. If you are struggling of depression, also try to concentrate on traveling, for example, like different stuff.
So you mean if I want to have money, I should think about money to attract the money to me? Yes, this is what you're saying.
This was not what I was talking about. This is different. This called like visualization. How like some different esoteric people say. Like we are not talking about this thing. We're just talking about to keep your mind healthy. So like to not to fall into great depression in your mind. And for this, you have to learn this technique to replace thoughts using the knowledge that you can technically think only about one thing at a time. So this was the first point. And second, to not to get depressed, you have to keep yourself all the time busy, because only busy person it is a happy person. Usually bad thoughts, they're coming to us when our mind is free and have just space to do their like bad business, just to think about like to be polluted with some bad information, like be busy with something all the time.
So keep yourself busy, keep yourself healthy, keep yourself young, and everything will be okay.
Yeah, I would say eat healthy food, but like
Yeah, guys, don't eat bugs. Don't go to the garden and find some crickets and eat. Don't eat the bugs in the garden, okay? Guys, this is bad.
I was talking about these plastic hamburgers, but okay, but
Also, don't go to the toy store and buy some plastic hamburgers and try to eat it, okay? This is bad. Don't eat the plastic hamburgers.
even if it smells nice, don't eat it.
Yeah, don't eat it. Even it smells like some nice perfume, whatever. Don't eat the plastic hamburgers, okay, guys?
You're so funny. You're so funny. Okay, like I suppose we have to finish because it's turned into some kind of nonsense already.
Yeah. Also, check my Instagram, my YouTube. I have gardening stuff. I have pictures of my potatoes, of my potato plants, how I'm harvesting them. And on YouTube, I have like gardening videos. The Polar Homestead. Just search for it, and everything will be peachy.
Easy peachy.
Easy peachy, yo, guys.
Okay.
Okay, say bye to the audience.
Goodbye, audience. Good luck to you. Stay safe, healthy, and no, I'm not gonna say it. Stay good.
What else? Come on, you catchphrase.
Yeah.
You have to say, come on, guy.
I cannot.
Come say your catchphrase. The audience is waiting for you.
No, stop it. Stop it, I don't want.
Okay. Okay, vaya con Dios, people. Bye.
I wanna be a dog. I wanna see the sky. I wanna die in cold. A burger and some fries and